Hey guys, so I'm finally here to finish or do the actual question and answers video. The other day I put up the video saying I needed questions, and I got a couple on there, but I got most of them on Instagram because I asked on there too. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer. I got enough to answer. I didn't get like a ton, but I got enough. And so since I don't have a lot, I can kind of explain each one a little better than just answering it like in 2 seconds. Question number 1. Have you talked to James about wanting to get married in the future? Yes and no. We've talked about it a little bit before, but we have not talked about it a lot. He knows I want to get married, or he should know, because I told him right when we first met that I wanted to get married before I had a kid, which didn't happen, but anyways, so we've talked about it a little bit, but not as much as I would like to. Question number 2 is, has my parenting style changed since having Serenity? And they added to the question, like, if I had something that I strongly believed before, has it changed now since I actually have her and I see what it's like to be a parent? As far as being like adamant about certain things, like I was never really like only breastfeeding, co-sleeping is terrible or anything like that, so none of that has really changed. But as far as like seeing other moms, and when I see moms and dads with children and I watch the way that they parent them now, I have more of a right to actually judge the way they treat their children. As before, you see someone in a store with like a screaming child, and you know, a lot of the times you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, so annoying, control your child. Or now if I see someone and their child is being bad, you can really tell the parents that that have patience and that really care about bringing their child up in the best way they can. And then there's parents that I've seen that make me really sad that that child has to live in that environment. Like, for example, I think I've told you, I don't know if I told you about this or not, but the summer I was actually still pregnant, so I guess technically I wasn't a mom yet, but I was at the pool and one of my neighbors was there with her little girl, and the way she talks to her is just ridiculous. She cusses, she says, leave me alone, I'm tanning, and go grab my phone, and it's just ridiculous. It makes me really sad, and especially now that I do have a little girl, I cannot imagine just treating your child like she's just a little servant, and then like, oh, it almost seems like she doesn't even want her, which she was probably not on purpose, because this woman looks like she's about 40 and her daughter's about 5 or 6, but it does not matter. She's your daughter, and you don't treat her like that. And then the other day I saw a dad come into my store with his little girl, and he was so sweet. He was so sweet with her. He's like, go pick out the chips you want, okay? And she was taking a little while, and he's like, did you get the chips? He did not rush her. He didn't yell at her to hurry up. He's just like, all right, come on, bring them up. The lady's waiting. And it's just, some people deserve to be parents and have children, and some people honestly do not. So I stretched that question out for a while. So question number 3 is, do I have any future do I have any names picked out for future children? I have one name picked out, but I'm not going to tell it just because this is the internet, and if I don't know, I know I'm like stupid about this, but I feel like if I say the name, then I'll like see it somewhere, like somebody I know will like take it, and that would bug me a lot. So yeah, I have a boy name picked out that I like a lot, so hopefully next time we'll have a boy. Obviously a girl would be fine, so calm down, anyone who is about to say anything about that. Question number 4. When you get married, do you want a big or small wedding? And when you get engaged, do you want a long or short engagement? When I get engaged, which better be sooner than later, but when I do, I want to have about a year-long engagement. So I don't think people really consider that a long engagement, but it's not really that short either. I think it's probably pretty average, but I think that gives us enough time to plan and actually not like and save for a nice wedding, which I'll talk about in a second, but that's just the perfect, it seems like the perfect amount of time for me. My mom thinks a year is so long and it's crazy, but she also thought that meeting and getting married to someone within 2 years was a long time to wait, which I don't think at all. Me and James have been together almost 3 years, so that's another reason that I don't want like a super long engagement. We've been together quite a while already. And then for the second part of the question, do I want a big or small wedding? I want a huge, well, I don't want to say huge. I want a big wedding. I want a nice wedding. I don't want, how do I not offend people? I don't want like a backyard wedding or just like a courthouse wedding or anything like that. I want a nice dress. I want a nice venue. I want to get married somewhere that is like really pretty. I want to get married outside. Yeah, so I want a pretty big wedding. As far as the amount of people, I don't know. It probably won't be like one of those huge massive weddings where people know like 1,000 people, nothing like that. But yeah, it's not just gonna be like like 5 family members and 10 friends. Not like that. Probably an average amount of people is what I want. But I want it to be very nice and elegant and not like, oh, let's hurry and get married like tomorrow, so let's see what we can find at Walmart for the wedding. Question number 5 is, what are my goals for the next 2 years? And I'm actually doing a video after this on my sort of New Year's resolutions, which will be not in the next 2 years, but over the next year. So I'll be putting that up next, and it'll have pretty much everything in it. So question number 6, how long did you breastfeed? And is there anything you would change about it with the second baby? I tried to just strictly breastfeed and not use formula. I tried so hard, but that only lasted about 3 months because I was working. So even when I pumped, it wasn't enough. So I had to supplement a little bit of formula when she was little like that. Not very much though. For the first 3 months, it was almost all breast milk, and I have a video on that too. It's just called My Breastfeeding Journey, and I'll link that somewhere. I'll put it on the little eye thing. Either it'll be there or there, I think. But yeah, you can just click on that. So till 3 months, I pretty much exclusively breastfed slash pumped and fed breast milk to her with a bottle. And then very soon after that, my supply started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And by the time she was about 6 months old, it was kind of like half and half. I think, honestly, it feels like it's been a long time, and I can't remember all the details, but she was still getting breast milk. I was still able to get some out, but she was getting a lot of formula too. And then basically, she was still getting some breast milk all the way up until she was about 11 months old. And then there was just almost nothing coming out. So which by 11 months old, that was really good, because at that point I started, when she was almost 12 months, I started transitioning, like adding cow's milk to her formula. Slowly, very slowly, because her stomach was reacting really badly. And by the time this October, like the end of October came, I think it was October, she was great with just cow's milk, so she's good. She's good to go now. Okay, so Munchkin got done with her lunch. Don't play with those cords. She got done with her lunch, and she wanted to join me. So she's probably not going to be good for very long, but here she is. So for the second part of the question, would I change anything about breastfeeding for the second baby? What I would do, and I tried pretty hard. I really was disappointed when I had to start using formula with her, even though I shouldn't have been, because there's nothing wrong with it. With the next one, I need to be less lazy. I need to be less lazy about breastfeeding. I mean, not breastfeeding, pumping next time, because I pumped a lot, but a lot of the times, really, I needed to pump, but it was really irritating and really boring to me to sit there, especially if I use the double pump, not even to be able to use my hands and get on my phone or anything. So I didn't always pump out all the milk I could, which would have helped me. It would have helped me to have extra stored in the freezer for her. And I wish I had, because then I probably would have, it would have lasted longer. Because the less you pump and breastfeed, the more your body tells you, okay, I don't need to produce as much. And then once that's gone, there's almost no way to get your supply to go back up. I tried a couple things, but... So, I want to say that I would be less lazy next time about pumping. But it also depends if I'm in my career, because I might be working more, and I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen then, because by the time I have my next one, things are going to be very different, because last time I was working 3 days a week and only about 5 hours a day. So, 7, do you want more kids, and if so, how many? Yes, I do want more kids, and as much as James pretends like he doesn't want another one, he does want another one, because sometimes when I say on the next one, and he's like, no, we're not having any more, we're done. But then other times he's like, we can't get rid of the baby stuff because we'll need it for the next one. Or when we have the next one, we need to have a little James. And then we can do his hair like mine. He'll say stuff like that. So, and just many things he said lets me know that he will be perfectly fine with another one. I want another one, maybe another one after that too, but I'm not really sure. I'd be totally good with just 2, I think, at this point. My child's getting into things. Yeah, so we'll probably only have 1 more, but there's a, there's a possibility we'll have 3 altogether. And the question number 8 is, where do you live? And I don't really like to say where I live on here, just because there's a lot of creepy people. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, I thought she was gonna hit her head. But, I live, for anyone who's a viewer that's not in my country that I live in is the United States. So, that is all the questions. My baby girl is... Look at her. She's walking really good now. Say bye-bye, guys. Say bye-bye. Say bye. Bye. Alright, so yeah, that's all the questions, and I will see you on the next video, which should be my New Year's resolution. So, thanks. Bye.